Oh, okay. Well, where's the
The
thingy?
broadcast is live.
Is the thingy
Welcome to
somewhere?
the Canada
Where
Guns
is it?
talk show, episode 121.
Blah,
The
blah, blah,
doom and
blah.
gloom up in his room was broken instantly by his magic little fish who grants every wish. It's a reality.
What the fuck
As
are
I
you
sit
talking
here and
about?
I mean, the title is Doom and Gloom, Gloom and Doom. It just reminded me of the opening theme of Fairly Odd Parents.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and take your word for it because that was incredible. Can you say that again? I legitimately am just kind of
The doom and gloom up in his room was broken instantly by his magic little fish who grant his every wish as a reality. They are the odd parents, fairly odd parents, ones with wings floating around.
I
Do not ask me why I remember this,
it
as
clearly
I
was a
don't
part of
know.
your childhood. Similarly, liquor was a part of mine.
Well, I have my fantastic. I actually quite like the idea.
I'm having some vodka with ice.
Cheap,
I'm not.
cold beer.
So, are we gonna pretend we did anything?
I
I did.
actually did.
I did maple seeds.
I got I finally got an order that I put in from Aztec probably 2 months ago.
That's okay. They only do like a U.S. shipment once a month or something, so 2 months as well, right?
Yeah, but the thing was, about a month into it, I asked them if I could add something to my order, and they're like, "No, no, no, it's too far along." It's like, well, it still took you a month to get that shit here, so how far along was it? But whatever.
Maybe they had to. Maybe they already applied the paperwork.
I guess so.
I
Cross
forget. Did
border
you ever
U.S.
order
stuff is
those
funky.
10-round Bursa mags?
Okay.
Did you ever order those 10-round Bursa mags?
Oh fuck no, man. I would just I don't no.
¿Qué pasó?
Okay. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
Por la shooty shooty. Pew pew.
Piu 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 la pistola, la escopeta, el rifle.
Arriba, arriba.
Ándale,
Ándale,
ándale.
ándale.
We're not gonna pretend like we care because I think everybody is quite literally getting that point of like, okay, so they're just they're just gonna keep making more announcements for no fucking reason.
Well, no,
Um,
there's a reason. They want to get more votes. They want to look like they're doing something.
They
well,
want to deflect from all the China bullshit.
oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute. Did they get caught doing something else? Oh,
Oh yes. Oh yes.
what was it this time? Was it
So
no more blackface? Oh, wait, no, blackface is so
nope.
2017.
So apparently in 2021, the Prime Minister's office received a report from CSIS that the Chinese consulate in Toronto had a diplomat that was attacking the family of Conservative MP Michael Chong in Hong Kong. And despite the fact that the Prime Minister's office received this report in 2021, we didn't hear about it until yesterday when it was leaked to the Globe and Mail. And Michael Chong made an announcement about it. And of
Global
course,
Mail's
the Liberals,
been dishing the dirt.
the Liberals troll farm people and gaslighters immediately went to every social media thread to say, oh, well, it's anonymous leaks and it's totally illegitimate and totally unfounded and blah, blah, blah. And then today, the Prime Minister confirmed that, no, this report exists and I have ordered CSIS to brief the member on this, which, you know,
Whoops.
kind of funny that it took 2 years and a leak to the media for a Conservative MP to be told that his family is being targeted by the Chinese. But when CSIS goes and investigates a Liberal MP for being in collusion with the Chinese, the Liberal Party's response is to warn that MP that CSIS is investigating them. I can't think of another word to call Trudeau right now other than a fucking traitor.
Hypocrite. This is a hypocrite.
I
right?
mean, that's yeah, like that's you don't have to get that creative with the terminology. He's just a hypocrite. That's it.
He's a fucking traitor, is what
politician.
It's a
Politicians
he is.
are
He's
all
an absolute
hypocrites and
fucking
traitors.
traitor who has sold our country out to fucking China.
Well,
They all do
that's
that.
that's a given. I mean,
And yeah,
it's like
so of
well,
course because
I
because
guarantee you that shelf behind you was not made in Canada.
that one, I don't know, Sweden or something.
Sweden.
It came from a
Sweden,
Swedish company.
probably.
So did that. So did
But
that.
those bins are Chinese. I tell you that.
Probably.
Swedish world dominance. They're getting around to it.
all that fair skin, blonde, blue eyed shit everywhere. Wait a minute, that sounds no. Wait, no.
It's why the thing makes noises on Leif Erikson Day. But yeah, they needed nice distractions from their, they didn't know that the PSAC strike was going to be over the weekend either, and that was making them look like fucking idiots. And then they probably knew this China shit was coming out. And so, yeah, they needed something to go and change the channel, and I am apparently having an allergic reaction to this vodka.
Yeah, you're getting red, man.
Yeah. It used to just be flavored vodka that does that to me, but apparently
you went to Japan. Maybe that's that Asian recessive.
Gene, I'm getting Asian glow despite being a.
Did you get some gene therapy over there?
No, this is actually hereditary. My dad has this happen with white rum, and so do I.
You're so white. Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm just going to ignore it because it'll go away eventually. But yeah, they needed a distraction over all the political bullshit, and so like, all right, gun control, because that's their number one distraction.
It's so annoying to watch them just keep blah blah blahing about it. Every single time they do something stupid, they're like, well, what can we do? Oh wait, same old.
It is
the same
stupid,
old
infuriating,
shit.
and stressful. But my hot take on this is actually that it's a lot of talk and they don't actually want anything to pass.
Well, let me give you for those of you that didn't want to watch the press release meeting brief, whatever, where the fucking Mendocino guy's branding his mouth.
AR-15 assault style weapons.
3D printed ghost guns.
3D printed ghost guns.
The NRA and the NRA and the conservatives.
Wait, no.
Canadians want their guns banned. Don't you know we all want our AR-15s to be stolen from us?
Consultation. We consulted the hunters and the natives, and they all said, "Yay."
I love the clause they put in for Indigenous. It is just we're compliant because we say we are. We put it right in. We are compliant.
All your treaty shit, Gucci. Okay.
The clause literally just says we respect the rights under the treaties and according to this part of the charter. Yeah.
This statement says that C-21 is fine, therefore it is. Stop complaining. It's fine. We put it in. It in.
If your shit gets banned, yeah.
Tough luck. We're compliant.
So yeah, if you didn't figure out what the fuck Mendocino, which all three people who watch us will have heard about this by now. Let's be honest.
Posted on Discord. There's 6 people watching right now.
Oh, astounding. Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically what happened is the Liberals were in trouble, so they needed more gun control bullshit. And so they trotted out saying, we're going to be introducing a whole bunch of more amendments that are blatantly out of scope for C-21 into C-21 because conservatives are evil and they love the NRA and gun owners actually want all their guns banned. And then they trotted out the lady who said 22 gauge that one time. And she said, every gun owner I've ever talked to wants all their guns banned. And so we need to ban more guns.
I like how the only motion that she did was like,
yeah, apparently the whole time
you.
She was just like sitting there nodding like a trained seal. I read Tracy Wilson's Twitter feed because I couldn't stand listening to that fucking Muppet. But yeah, basically what they pledged and what was actually apparently introduced, and the conservatives have started filibustering it, thank God. The amendment wording is actually going to basically ban any semi-automatic center fire long gun designed to accept a magazine of more than 5 rounds at the time the gun was designed, which basically if it takes a Stanag mag, you can't have it. You got to design a proprietary. You're muted, Adriel.
Thank you. I have allergies and I don't want to sneeze it. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because
it doesn't.
They consider the Butler Creek mags, which were designed decades ago, to be designed for the pistol version of the Ruger Charger. Designed for means nothing. They will trample all over it.
Yep. And but on top of that, the actual wording of the amendment also says it only applies to firearms designed after this section comes into force. So theoretically, every gun that exists up to this point is okay, right? Wrong. Another thing they pledged to do was to reestablish the Firearms Advisory Committee and stack it with anti-gun lobbyists. And the point of that is so that way they can go and have the anti-gun lobbyists and the Firearms Advisory Committee recommend them a whole nice list of shit to ban. Because they have that they literally have that just sitting around. The anti-gun lobby posts on Twitter like 3 times a week. And so they're just going to stack the committee with anti-gun lobbyists, and the anti-gun lobbyists are going to come back with a fucking stack of guns and say, ban these. And the liberals will go, okay. And they're going to pass an order in council banning all of them. That is what's going to happen. So they were
because the experts said that they should do it
on our firearms
so
advisory
like remember when an intersection on the street keeps getting car crashes and the city wants to fix it, they just grabbed all the people that are missing limbs from the car crashes and asked them, how can the street be better? Not engineers or
we know you're not a traffic engineer, but would you put a roundabout here, or would you think we should do an
you
overpass,
see that light, should we make it bigger, or do we do a bigger sign? What do you think, person now that was involved in a car accident and is now brain damaged?
Airbags all around the intersection.
30-kilometer-per-hour maximum across the city. Just no.
All over Edmonton.
Take out the gas pedal out of cars. It's just people pushing vehicles around.
Bikes only.
They are actually pushing 30-kilometer-an-hour speed limits across.
Welcome to Calgary. Like this was maybe 10 years ago that they made playground zones across the board, all school zones. So yeah, school zones turned into playground zones, and playground zones became school zones across the board all the time, every day of the whole year. So it's like 7:30 to 9. 30 kilometers per hour, like dead of winter where the sun goes down at 4:30. Nope, not until 9 you're allowed to go past 30. Fuck you.
Sorry, Dave, I got to interrupt you. Tenda has the High Point carbine with the Bushnell TRS 125 for $4.99. Should I buy one?
You should absolutely buy one.
Do it.
Well, that's a great price with that Bushnell. That red dot's $100 red dot.
It's $100 red dot.
Yeah, I mean, I had one of those, and I sent it back to Bushnell for warranty work. They sent me a different red dot.
What is this TRS? This isn't the one I was thinking it was going to be.
No, it's the 125. It's the tall one.
No, it's not.
I thought it was going to be the big dial one.
But it's got the buttons on the top.
Oh,
I specifically wanted that
the
one,
knockoff
and when I sent it into Bushnell,
yeah, that's the knockoff Holosun, which is a knockoff aim point.
I specifically wanted that red dot, and I bought that red dot, and then it was fucky on my Type 81. I sent it to Bushnell for warranty work. They sent me back a TRS 26.
Score?
That's the one with the dial.
I want. I thought it was going to be the 25. Sorry, not the 125.
Carrie says Winnipeg is doing the 30-kilometer-per-hour shit too.
Yeah, Toronto's got it in everywhere that's residential now. They're just dropping residential speed limits to 30. The entire inner city is 40.
They did that for Edmonton too.
And they're basically just, instead of having it like be regularly posted where it's 30, they're now looking at every entrance to the thing there and putting 30 area starts now.
Okay, but High Point or not? I don't care.
Absolutely.
At all.
Do it.
That's a no-brainer. Well, maybe you'll finally run into Tenda bullshit. It's always a roll of the dice.
But yeah, so the actual wording of the amendment dropped today. Apparently it was introduced in committee. They also promised magazine capacity restrictions. They didn't specify anything other than long gun and 5 rounds permanently, because apparently the rivet's not permanent enough.
Never hold more. That's different than the language we saw before.
Never hold more. Apparently.
They're gonna force body chopping of mag body chopping.
We came up with a pretty good idea to limit 1022 max. I mean, you have to disassemble and then glue in snap caps and then insert it such that. Never mind.
Nope. You gotta cut it. There has to be a chop saw involved.
Good enough. So that's the thing, is we don't know at the moment what that's going to entail, because they promised to bring that in through order in council. The thing that they're currently being sued about. The thing that they actually, at the end of their disposition to the judge, specifically asked the judge, hey, can you just limit your ruling to this specific order in council?
No.
And not the ability to order in council, because we don't want you repealing the orders in councils from the 90s. Given the fact that they asked that question to the judge, it makes me think that they don't really have much faith in their despite the fact that I know Runkle said that apparently their arguments were actually apparently good, despite the fact that they didn't sound it.
What about my long gat? What about this long gat? Am I showing this? Is
No,
this
you're
presenting?
Nope.
What the fuck is this sharing? Why can I not share this?
Yep. So that tube magazine on that old Cooey. Nope. 5 rounds.
No, that's a Stevens, the gill gun. You're muted, by the way. Still.
Oh, is that Stevens? Okay, there we go. Not muted anymore.
Chop it.
Yep.
Chop it. What? Now chopping that part. No. Oh, okay. No problem. What the fuck do you do with this?
Nothing. You're fucked.
Well, there's a crimp there. Like there's a crimp there, so I guess you could like chop that, like cut it all the way around. Then this whole mess comes out. You got to put it back in there and do a re-crimp somewhere. That crimp right there. I think
they're trying to take inspiration from New Zealand, who implemented this same bullshit, and everyone's response was, "What the fuck do we do with these old like antique lever actions?" And New Zealand's government response was, "Fuck you." So the response from the people was, problem. "We're just not going to tell you about them."
Yeah.
But given that we don't know specifically at this point whether it's only semi-autos or whether it's all long guns, the wording said long guns. So,
Adriel, there's a new reaction screenshot for you.
At the moment, we're taking it as
on
every
Discord
centerfire long gun. But where is this? So the thing with this is the conservatives attempted to ask for clarity about this in the SECU meeting today, to which the response they got back was, "That's out of the scope of this bill because we're not introducing it as an amendment to this bill, so we're not going to answer that question."
Just fuck you. That's why.
So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Is
cool. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
As I said, I actually don't think they intend to pass any of this.
No, they're just because if you go by just what they did during the press conference, they're just going like, "We promise to do something and we will." I just saved you watching the entirety of that press conference and watching that fucking slime ball running his mouth.
See, because I've seen a lot of people saying that, oh, if they had a majority, we would have no guns left by now. And I actually disagree on that. The liberals don't want gun control to be set in stone the way they're talking about. This whole thing where they keep talking about, we're going to make it hard for the next government to repeal this definition. They don't actually want that. Because gun control is their perfect wedge issue and distraction. The reason why they did fucking nothing while they were in a majority government is because they didn't have to. They didn't have to worry about scandals or about their base or about any of that shit until the last 18 months of their time in office, because they had 4 years guaranteed to them. And that's why we didn't see C-71 until like the end of their term, and it took 18 months to pass it. They didn't give a shit about gun control because they didn't have to. Now, and since 2019, they've been in a minority. And the scandals that hit a minority harder because it's harder for them to stay in office when they can't just ignore it, when they actually are in a volatile situation where the party could fall at any time to a confidence motion. So they need something to deflect from scandals, and that's why we've been seeing more movement on gun control while they're in a minority than when they were in a majority, is because they need to actually care about scandals. And their favorite way to deflect from scandals? Fuck gun owners.
Fuck you.
If they had a majority, we'd have probably gotten the OIC still, and that would, I think, honestly be about it. But I don't think they actually want to codify the handgun ban or the OIC or an evergreen definition or any of this. I don't think they actually want it codified.
Oh, here, let me derail your fucking story for a second, because I just had one of the greatest and saddest interactions I've ever had in one of my classes. I had a guy come in, and on day one, he was there for both days, non-restricted and restricted. He goes, "Yeah, I'm here because my dad left me some guns." And I'm like,
Oh no.
So I kind of pull him aside and I go, "What did he leave you?" And it's a couple of rifles. Yeah. Shotguns. Yeah. Pistols. Yeah. Fuck. So I tell him, I got bad news for you, but the news arrived tomorrow on day 2 for the restricted. And then when I'm outlining the October ban to him, you could see this guy visibly getting more and more heated up. Like you could just see the caveman coming out like, like what the... and I get to the end going, yeah, this prevents crime. That's not my opinion. That's the government's opinion.
Professionals.
People with interests and ideas and the will to enact change for the betterment of getting votes in Toronto. So this guy is just like at the end of the class after he passes, he just looks sad, and I chat with him and he goes like, "What do I do?" And I go, "Do you know if they were registered?" And he goes, "Yeah." "Does your mother know where they are?" "No." "Do you know where they are?" "Not really." Like, what do you do in that situation, man?
How do you execute on the estate if you don't know where they are? The cops are going to come and search the place.
See, that's not no, they're not. You know why? Because I know for a fact that there are situations where people have passed, and like 10 years later, they're going through the stuff, and they find the guns, and then they go, "Oh, should we tell somebody about this?" So they go to the police, and the police go, "Oh, this guy is dead? Yeah. And he had guns registered in his name. Yeah. Do you have a license? No. Well, okay, we'll take them from here." It's like they don't care. They don't care. The police have better shit to do than go checking their records to see when some guy
Yeah, they
croaks
gotta go
and
and
go
give
take
out
their shit. Like,
tickets to people going 3 kilometers an hour over the limit.
absolutely, you know.
Yeah. The thing is, as I was saying, the Liberals don't want any of this actually codified into law because then they lose their primary distraction. They can't go and fearmonger about guns and promise more gun bans and shit when they've already banned all the fucking guns. And if it's already set in stone to the point where the Conservatives won't touch it anymore, they can't use it as a distraction. They can't just scream the Conservatives and the NRA anymore if it's just sat in law like it has in the UK. No one fucking talks about
but
guns
Mendocino said the
anymore.
SKAs was not going to be banned.
So that's the thing is I don't think they actually want C21 to actually become law because then they lose a lot of their scapegoats. It is harder to repeal. They don't want it to be hard to repeal. They want the Conservatives, as soon as they get into whatever government they get into, they want them to be able to quickly repeal everything that the Liberals have done up until this point, because then the Liberals can fearmonger about it for the next election again and every election after that. If they go and codify things into law too much, they're not going to be able to do that. So that's why I think they don't actually want C21 to pass. They want to go and use C21 as a platform to talk about how much shit they're doing. They don't actually want it to come into law because then they're not going to be able to grandstand about all the shit they're doing anymore. They've done it, and now they can't fucking talk about it anymore.
No, there's always more. There's always more. If they put it in
talk
place
about
right
the
now,
carbon tax
non-retroactive, there's always guns that they can ban.
Yeah, they would ban. The Firearms Advisory Committee is going to recommend them banning a bunch of shit regardless. They said that's going to be convened in the summer anyways, and they're going to do it by order in council, despite the fact that there was a lawsuit about that.
Yeah, anytime Trudeau gets caught in blackface, Firearms Advisory Committee, please recommend some guns that we can say are evil, and we're going to ban them.
They just text Heidi is like, "Yo, what do you want gone? Just this one?" Okay.
The thing is, though, the fear mongering gets far and far less effective when shit's already banned, and the gun crimes happening here in Toronto are still happening with shit they've already banned and taken from people.
What you mean, like handguns that show up over the border through native reserves?
Oh, but we can't really talk about them all coming in through the Aquas. Is it Was the Akwesasne, or was that a different one, or is it a Mohawk Reserve out there? It's out near Cochrane, Ontario, isn't it?
We live like thousands of kilometers away. We don't know and we don't care.
Wait a minute, Adriel, are you telling me that the crime in Toronto is influencing government policy that affects the entire country and crime that has absolutely nothing to do with the crime in one location?
No. Let's be fair.
Crime legislation
Let's be fair here.
Across
It's
the
also
entire
the crime,
country?
It's also the crime in Montreal.
No, our crime rates in Edmonton far surpass both Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah,
we just don't care.
But,
I mean, somebody's getting stabbed in the Northeast probably right now. There you go.
When I have my window open in the apartment, I get to play the fun game of gunshots or fireworks on a regular basis.
So what you're saying is Judge Dredd has a point.
I haven't watched Judge Dredd, so
what?
I know. Oh my god, nerd doesn't watch comic book thing. I actually don't care for comic books.
No. Like the movie's good, man. It's Carl Urban. It's like it's good old fashioned ultra violence.
I've never cared about superheroes.
But that's not, like that's that. You're fucking with my chi, man.
But yeah, that's the thing is the Liberals are going to sit on C-21 for a whole bunch. There'll be an election before it gets anywhere close to passing.
Might be a while. Yeah. Doesn't feel like we're very close to an election.
I'm seeing things feel a lot like 2021 right now.
2023 right now, though.
No, but the political climate, I remember in 2021, all throughout winter 2020 and coming into 2021, there was talk there's going to be a spring election. There's going to be a spring election. We're going to have a spring election. Didn't happen, but because they jerked us off so much, they got to blow the load at some point, so it happened in the fall. We're coming up in much the same kind of situation since December. Oh, the Liberals have told their members, get ready for a spring election. Is there going to be a spring election? We're going to have a spring election. We've been jerked off enough about an election now. They're going to blow the load at some point. It's probably going to be the fall, especially since come early September, the Conservatives get like 4 or 5 more safe ridings because of a redistribution of boundaries. The Liberals don't want to give them any kind of advantage. The problem is they didn't expect to be this down in the polls right now. They are down in the polls. Like Leger, the most respected pollster in the country, has the Liberals down 6.
Leger?
36 Conservatives. Yeah, Leger.
Sorry.
Ledger.
Wait a minute.
Ledger,
I thought. Wait a minute. I thought we weren't supposed to listen to the polls.
Oh yeah, don't listen to the polls because it's so far outside of the election. But whatever. The thing with the polls is Leger is being considered the most accurate pollster in Canada for quite a long time.
Look at Discord. That is fantastic.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, it's there. Like when Leger has Conservatives up by 6, that's significant because they've always had it like as a neck and neck thing. I would support this measure. Dick Mott's worthless.
I think Dick Mott had potential. Not gonna lie.
I don't think so.
Wait, a PMO staffer just stepped down?
Yeah, I was talking about that.
Oh,
that was part of the whole election thing. The PMO's director of communications is apparently stepping down, and then one of his primary advisors is stepping down apparently to go help the party with election readiness.
Huh.
Why would the party need to be election ready if the next election isn't supposed to be for 2 more years? Why would someone need to leave the PMO's office, especially, to go help the party with election readiness? Yeah, the party's always doing stuff about election readiness. Why would someone from the Prime Minister's office need to get involved with the party's election readiness platform if the election isn't for 2 more years?
Because they're going to fuck up somehow, some way.
The one thing is I don't see the NDP pulling the plug on this is the issue. What is the question?
We have a question. Who will be the first Canadian manufacturer to produce a new rifle with 5-round proprietary magazine? Do we expect all current semi-autos to be inspected, reclassified at this new proposed firearms committee this summer?
So the second
one is
yes.
They're just going to ban it.
The first one is it doesn't matter. The monkey's paw will curl no matter who chooses it.
Habibi!
See, the thing is, I've gone and shaved the neck beard. My grandmother, my bupcha, used to refer to when I had like the neck beard. It would get flat down here. She called it my yid beard.
Yit.
And I'm like, bupcha, really? To which her response was then, "Oh no, don't worry. Women will think you're in a very wealthy job if they think you're Jewish."
Jesus Christ. Who can make guns? Who can make the guns?
Alberta
no
Tactical Rifle Supply can make a good gun.
They're too busy suing the shit out of the government.
Delask can make a good gun.
Oh, they are totally gonna do.
They
Can you
haven't really
imagine if
made
they
guns
like
in a
make
very
like a
long time, though,
1022
is the problem.
receiver that takes like one of those like ugly ass 5-shot mags?
Colt Canada can make a good gun. They don't
They're
give a
too
fuck.
busy sucking the government's dick
Yep.
to not make guns for civilians.
Spectre Ballistics can make a decent enough gun.
Tristan will probably set fire to his balls before making a 5-round cucked mag. 1022 receiver.
Probably, but
yeah.
So we're left with what? Crusader Arms coming out.
Lockhart Tactical. They make guns now.
Lockhart
Apparently,
Tactical.
like I do have to make an announcement. Much to the surprise of utterly everyone in the Canadian firearms industry, to the absolute shock, visceral shock, Lockhart Tactical did not turn up vaporware for once.
Astounding.
So
they actually
weird.
came out with
I
that
know.
manual they said they would.
And 223. Someone got a 223 version.
Oh.
It's
just
funny.
as
Small
good
world,
as
one of my
every other
students.
Canadian
No,
gun.
it's not a 180.
It's not.
It uses a gas tube. It uses a different BCG. It uses an AR bolt. It's tube.
It's
piston.
kind of like it's like an amalgamation of the
So what you're
like,
saying
you
is
remember those side charger AR uppers? It's like it's got one of those, but it also has a gas key and a charging handle like a traditional AR.
So what you're saying is it's an AR-15 variant according to the FRT that is not law and that is not technically supposed to be enforceable, but it's an AR-15 variant because we know what the word variant means, even though it's not defined anywhere and keeps changing. But astounding, they actually put out a gun after
they
saying
put out a gun.
There's
okay,
them,
so that leaves
and then, of course,
Kodiak / Spectre Limited, not Spectre Ballistics,
and
BCL and Lockhart Tactical. Who would be the biggest whore?
The monkey's paw curls.
Who would be the biggest whore that would still put out a 5-round fixed magazine gun? Kodiak. Probably.
Well, Spectre Limited can't do anything, so they might do something like that as well. But they put a pile of money into their Crusader system, and it's.
I mean, the thing with the Crusader system, they've got retail in the States for that now, so they don't give a shit.
Who in the fuck would buy that in the US?
Dude, when I held one of their, I guess, earlier prototypes.
They're heavy.
The fucking charging handles are held on with screws, dude. Like there's a fucking screw holding the charging handle in.
I got to see one at TACCOM, and all I remember is hating the ACR style stock on it.
Whatever.
I literally remember nothing else about this gun other than the ACR style stock.
Before my bathroom blew up upstairs and a pipe rained downhill across the entire home, and I had to deal with that shit. I was considering selling the Jard and the Lynx 180 to buy a B&T because I was just like, I'm sick and tired of like putting together shit. I just want a gun. I just want to buy a gun and it to work. Now, like, I feel less inclined to do that now.
As long as it's non-restricted, you didn't never buy it.
Exactly. Less inclined to do that now. Oh, something funny happened. The takedown lever on my Ruger PC charger fell off. Meaning I can't take the barrel off.
That's
which
odd.
it's not a bad thing, really. It doesn't matter. But I sent Gravel Agency an email because they're the ones dealing with warranty for Ruger.
Really?
And I said Gravel. What the fuck is it?
It's not Gravel. It's some other. It is a Quebec company.
No, it is Gravel.
It is. When did they take that over?
Who the fuck knows? Anyways,
it was
so
random
Ruger, get this. Ruger wants them to ask me to send them the barreled handguard assembly for destruction, so they can send me back a new barreled handguard assembly.
How are you supposed to do that when you can't get the barreled handguard assembly off the gun?
Well, you see, I can shove a little hex key into the hole and then pull it back, and it actually does let me take the barrel off.
So why don't you go and shove the little piece of metal back in there, find someone who's got a welder, and go zap?
I could. Yeah, alternatively, I just straight up asked him, is like, but why? Like, I just need the piece, dog. Why you want to take that? Like, I've taken the entire thing off apart, and it just doesn't make any sense for them to want the entire thing. Like, I can just put the piece back. Like, this is not rocket science. I have no idea why they want me to send the entire handguard and barrel for destruction to send me back the exact same thing with the piece installed from the factory. Which, don't get me wrong, Ruger can put together a gun together okay sometimes. Put a little asterisk there, but
it reminds me of my revolver that I had from Ruger.
yeah, it's so confusing to me why they want that entire thing shipped off for just that tiny part.
I mean, I know when I had my Smith & Wesson replaced, Wolverine told me Smith & Wesson was going to destroy my old gun. I mean, at that point, the gun is technically unsafe because of timing issues, so it's a bit more understandable, but...
Oh, God. Technically, BNT's sale covers I mean, FOC has their 15% off sale, so you could take 15% off of the $4,999 rifle, which, it's not an insignificant chunk of money.
I was debating buying a primary arms 3 times for my Type 81, taking advantage of that, but I don't
know. Oh, funny thing happened to me at class. My Remington 597 decided to just completely shit the bed, and the extractor just flew off somewhere, never noticed. And then I was trying to show somebody how to action proof a gun, and the thing wouldn't extract the dummy out of the chamber. So I was like, well, this gun is dead. And so I am down a semi-auto for class because Remington.
That's interesting because my 597 has not done that.
It's theoretically possible because it's just kind of like held in place by its own geometry, because it's just a little piece that goes inside the bolt, and right behind it is the spring and the plunger holding it in place. So if for some reason you hit it hard enough and the plunger pops back before the inertia of the extractor moves, theoretically it could dislodge itself. There is nothing really holding it in place, just the way that it's assembled, and the spring keeps staying behind it. If it's not behind it, then that's it.
Yeah, someone could have ripped back on it.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What happened?
So apparently So after Trudeau announced the latest gun ban bullshit, Pauly Saint-Sauvignon had at a press conference right afterwards, and they were pissed. They called it a betrayal, and oh my God, the government doesn't care about any of us, and we've been fighting for 30-something years to ban guns in Canada, and the government promised us to ban everything, and they aren't, so they're betraying us. And now they're apparently uninviting him from the next memorial service in December for the anniversary of the École Polytechnique shooting because he's such a traitor.
That's great.
Why do you need to have an anniversary for something that happened like so long ago and was such a...
I was thinking it's like like you know how people talk about like moving on and grieving and then letting it go. Like imagine just fixating on something for so long. Like that's got to be fucked up for your head, right? Like that can't be good for you to sit
I mean,
there
I can
thinking about
understand
that.
having a memorial service for it every year for the individuals who were involved and who knew the people that were there,
I
but it's
wouldn't.
become a massive thing of political theater the entire time. It is a platform to push for more gun control.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you went
And
through
you know,
9/11
this
or
shit.
like September 11th, would you go to memorials every year for it?
There are some people who
There
probably do.
are, but that sounds like an obsessive thing to do.
Yeah,
It's not
it,
a
like that
healthy
can't be
thing.
good for you, right?
No,
That just it can't be.
no. If you have any real trauma from that event, you're just like renewing it every year. Just do something else with your life. Something more
Yeah.
productive.
Oh, on the other hand, I did manage to. Okay, somebody percent this because I can't fucking get it to fucking percent. I can't do this because I suck.
Present, and I'll click the thing that makes
Oh,
it
I
present.
clicked and it didn't work last time. There, click on that. I am unfortunately hooked on the stupidity that is cheap Turkish shotguns, and I kind of love the fact that this is a thing. Um, I really keep going down, keep going down. It's right there. It is. Oh yeah,
Looks like a Call of Duty gun.
exactly, and it's got chokes.
Oh, well.
Just imagine walking around with that bad boy blasting grouse in the face. Just great.
Trying to. Yeah. Be
Oh,
terrible.
come on.
Be terrible. That's not the full size stock, is it?
No,
That's
no,
the
that is a
chopped
full
one, right?
size stock. No, this is the
Oh.
new mid-size model. They actually
This
put
Okay.
a
is the
stock
one
on
that they
it that
had
it's
produced
actually
for British
functional.
Columbia.
What?
They built that gun with a 12.5-inch barrel specifically for BC because the original with a 10.5-inch barrel, a bunch of people from BC said, according to our hunting regulations, the 10.5-inch barrel model is a handgun. Can you get us one with a 12.5-inch barrel? And Tactical Imports said, we'll look into it.
Hey guys, can you just not chop it as much? Okay.
Dude, wait, you had mine. That shit was just hacksawed.
They made a full gun and they chopped it.
As long as it entered the country that way, it's fine.
No, as long as it left the factory that way. Remember, because that was the big issue with the Visa. It's like, well, like because they were technically on one assembly line to be machine guns, and then they were like, nope, never mind. But they were on the right or the wrong assembly line at one point, and therefore it is totally a machine gun, even though it never got the machine gun parts in it.
I thought they had welded a rail or something like that to keep it from being.
Heard various things. I heard some people reported that they had like 1960s date stamps on theirs and that they were factory refurbished by CZ into semi-auto onlys. And so initially that was fine enough, and then the RCMP changed their mind.
It's like that once a machine gun, always a machine gun thing. It's just so fucking dense, man.
Yeah,
it's like okay. Well, actually, no. That this conversation can entirely be avoided because, as we all know, machining is easy. So just ask a machinist if their job is easy. Aluminum is
all
a
you
machine
need
gun.
is a powerful enough power drill, and you can make an AR-15.
Fuck that, dude. You just need gumption and some hardened steel and just
credit card of steel with a little bit of engraving on it. I don't know if you guys saw that, but
yep.
What?
That guy got nailed.
The auto key card, as it was called in the States. It's a business card size thing that has a template on it that theoretically, if you were to cut this template out, it creates a drop-in auto sear for the lightning link for the AR-15. And so people were selling this, and they called it the auto key card. And a recent decision by not the Supreme Court, but by one of the courts dealing with this, handed down a 110-year sentence to one of the guys selling these, claiming that yes, indeed, this is a machine gun. This business card with lines in it is a machine gun.
Well,
they weren't even engraved on there. It was just It was just a etching. It wasn't like cut at all.
Yeah, it wasn't like you could just punch them out or anything. It was
No,
like
like
lightly.
remember, the machine gun registry does in fact contain a shoestring.
Apparently not anymore. The ATF had that in there for about 10 years and then revised their decision on that to determine that no, a shoestring does not make a machine gun.
Dang it!
However, they still have not decided to classify whether strapping a fleshlight onto the end of your pistol counts as a stock.
I still remember the Reddit post on guns that guy made. And he straight up has screenshots of him sending correspondence to the ATF, and it was just like, and like the way that he demonstrated it was he was literally holding up the thing up to his crotch. It was just
the ATF, if I recall correctly, sent back a letter saying we decline to respond to this.
What do you have?
What this? Same thing, or
I forgot you did that. I think I still have mine. It's in a box. I know it's in a box somewhere. Same with the Harambusites.
The Harambus. I still have fucking janitor's Picatinny to Picatinny adapter somewhere.
I use that. You know what? That is legitimately one of the most useful tools that I have in my shop. Anytime I have some fucking stupid ass gun that has no way for you to actually vice it in some way, you know what I do? I clamp the rail to the fucking vice. Done. Nice.
Yeah, apparently it took the ATF 45 minutes to Dremel out the lightning link from that auto key card. And if I recall correctly, they then also needed to file the shit out of it because it still didn't work properly.
Just remember, the Scar H has been in limbo at the firearms lab because you can apparently make it into a machine gun with a full workshop full of tools and people with the know-how.
No, the Scar I heard was a lot more cut and dry. Of it was you take the one fire control group out and you can drop the other one in.
God damn it! Why do you shit on my dreams?
Yeah, that one.
Well, you know what? That was the issue with the FN 2000 and the P90 first gen guns. Like their trigger group kind of was like spicy.
I mean, I don't know on that, but also FN doesn't give enough of a fuck about us to change the Scar.
Yeah, probably.
Supposedly they're coming out with like a new gen anyways, and people were hoping we might be able to get that one in, but if we do, it'll just be banned by name by the committee when it comes in, because the committee is going to ban things by name, and you can guarantee that since it's going to be stacked with anti-gun lobbyists, it's not just going to be semi-autos. Given that the anti-gun lobbyist has been attacking things like the the Tika T3X in tactical configurations and various models of Savage.
Wait, you know what's next after they're done with the semis? They're gonna come for the sniper rifles and then the fast action firearms. That's gonna go like Australia. Pumps, they're too fast. Pumps are too fast.
Well, Australia's banned a bunch of high-power snipers as well. After some dude found a dude with a bunch of guns in his basement, they decided.
I was gonna say the guy that had his fucking basement built out to have an indoor range. You need to work on that, Adriel.
Yep. But
nope, I couldn't even say if I had one because that's not legal in Edmonton to have an indoor range that's unlicensed.
No. Remember, like the secret ingredient is crime.
Given that the antis have attacked like the TRG series from Seiko and the Tikas and the Savage Model 10s, you can expect a few sniper rifles to be in their list of recommendations to ban in the summertime as well. So if you thought your Remington 700 that granddad bought you back in 1974 was safe, guess what? That's the U.S. Marine Corps Model 24 sniper rifle. That's prohibited. It's a military sniper rifle.
That's just the way it rolls, man. Just the way she goes. Is there anything oddly relevant that we should mention? Did we do anything with guns? You said you did Maple Seeds. How many people patched? Is it 2?
3.
3?
Nice. 3. It's hard. It's hard to get into patch. People underestimate how hard it is to patch. You need to be like in the right mindset. You need to have gear that works. It's not easy.
That's true. The gear really does help. That's why I'm going to definitely run an M1 Garand.
Just reliable. Just reliable. It has to run.
You said you've ran some pretty stupid guns. Has anybody? You saw somebody run? What the hell was it? They got. Remember that story from way back? Like it was like a single shot Savage. I think you said that patched.
So a guy patched with a no, it was a bolt action rifle with 1 5-round mag. He made
Yeah.
it work.
With 1 5-round mag.
Mm-hmm. Now, like I used my Nork with 5-round mags, and it was fine. I've seen people attempt. It's interesting shooting like an SKS or something like that. You get bigger holes, but SKS, like I don't know if it's the people shooting them. It's probably the people shooting them. They're just it's not that accurate. I've seen people shoot PCCs, never with a scope, always with like a red dot. They never patch. They should be able to though. Like a 9mm hole is 0.356 versus like a 22. Like you make almost twice as much. Like you don't need quite the precision that you do with a 22.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
because you'll always break the line, right?
The thing with that is, even my experience shooting a PCC at 25, 9mm is not accurate enough of a round.
A lot of the PCCs aren't. They're terrible for it.
Well, the problem is like if you have the right ammo, like it's not bad. But like if you have like stanky shit and you're getting a direct blowback gun, yeah, it moves you around more than it has too.
You can patch the I would say the ammunition doesn't matter at 25 yards. It doesn't matter.
I think with 9mm it does. I've seen deviations just due to the ammo, even just at 25.
Yeah. Some people have tried like ARs, the AR guys that back when ARs were a thing, they patched. They would patch with their ARs because they like knew them and they would shoot them really well.
Too difficult to patch. I mean, theoretically, isn't maple seed derived from apple seed, which was designed around the M1 Garand?
Correct. Yeah. I haven't seen an M1 Garand yet. I have seen someone try to Mosin, but shooting a Mosin from prone is painful.
That sucks. No, that would suck ass.
You can get rid of the from prone part there.
No, if you shoot a Mosin standing, it would be fine, or even seated, it would be fine. But prone, like pulling it up on your shoulder there, and that sharp butt pad, like it just chews you up.
I'm gonna be right back because I gotta bring something down.
Yeah, but no, it was like we've had unseasonably warm weather here in Alberta.
Oh, I've heard Edmonton's hitting 30 this week,
which is insane. Like May long weekend, which is like a month from now, we've had snow. Like it snows sometimes on May long. Sometimes it's really warm. Sometimes it snows. So for it to be in like April and for us to get like 29, 30 degrees. I've transited
through Calgary in like mid-September and it was covered in snow.
Yeah.
Like here we had a weekend where it was, or a whole week actually, where it was like 25 degrees in April for like a good week, like 2 weeks ago or so. And now we're back down to what's about normal. But I think this weekend it's supposed to be up to like 15, 16 or so. Usually by the end of May, we're well into the 20s.
It's going to be 29 tomorrow and 29 the day after. It's insane for here.
Yeah, he's got his M1 Garand.
I forget, is that in 308 or 30-06?
I think his was in 30-06, and there was an issue because it had a 308 something in it, wasn't it?
30-06 is the worst choice for a Garand if you're going to do a rebuild.
It's funny you should say that. It's funny you should say that.
308's way cheaper. You can buy like that Noriko steel case stuff and be shooting 75 or 80 cents a round. Fuck reloading.
Well, I would say that's correct, except I found a nice 500 round ammo can for $800, which is pretty good for 30-06. So it's M2 ball spec PPU ammo. So it's like Gucci shit. Basically,
it's better when someone who's a friend of the family just gives you a bunch of 30-06 because they heard you got an SVT and thought it was 7.62 x 54, but it wasn't. It's 30-06 made in South Korea and it's non-corrosive.
Ooh, nice.
Rag it up.
So this is a bit of an update post because I don't know if last time this thing showed up.
Yes, and you couldn't load it.
Yeah, this thing now works. It works great. I had never shot and one around before, I would tell you that it's kind of like shooting an SVT. Um, but man, the ergos are just so much better with this thing, and the sights. Oh, the sights. This thing is great to shoot. I got like I think it was like a 2-inch group at 100 meters with this thing once I finally got it dialed in, which I'm more than happy with. Just, it was benched, it was ammo, I was doing my job, the shooter's cadence. Isn't that right, Adrian? Shooter's cadence. You're muted still. And
I'm not saying anything. Yeah,
I
but
know, I know.
it's the M1 Garand sights are fantastic. Trigger's okay. It's not anything to write home about, but the ergos on it are just shoot that versus a Mosin. You're like, whoa, Mosins are garbage.
Yeah, but I did have complaints. The length of pull in this thing is just, man, well, maybe people were just smaller back then, and I'm not a very large person, but like I swear to God, like the length of pull is just like, where do you fucking put it? Like, how do you scrunch your face in there?
That sounds like the Type 81.
No, the Type 81 is Chinese conscript size, so it's like,
or plates,
yeah.
body armor, jackets. Like if it was way too long for a short person with a jacket on, then they'll always err on the side of short, right?
I guess. The main complaint that I had with it was like the length of pull. So I just slapped on like way back. I bought a set of Packmeyer decelerator slip-on recoil pads, which is just like this condom-looking thing that just goes around the ass end of a gun. Gives you about an inch and a half of extra length of pull. It actually fixes like 99% of most mil-serp rifle issues that I've found. But this thing had another issue. It was the cheek weld. I don't know if I just have particularly high cheekbones or something. Maybe it was just designed for Caucasians or something in mind, but like I swear to God, like my cheeks just don't seem to line up where most people line them up. So I committed an atrocity. First of all, I put a red dot on my M1 Grand. I did. I put a red dot.
So you're gonna that's what you
See,
did. Yeah.
see, I don't know if it shows up, but I put a red dot on my M1 Grand. Put a little bit of red on the front.
So you said your face, you can't get your face down low enough on it because
No, I look no, it's too like my cheeks are too high, so I can't see through the sights. Yeah.
So you're too low.
Yeah. So when I squish my face in it,
so am I.
yeah. When I squish my face in it, I can't see through the sights. I straight up can't. So I'm looking at the fucking back of the receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm either doing like a hovering off or I'm doing like a cheek and like kind of rolling my head over, and like I fucking hate it. I want to be able to maple seed this shit. So I continue my atrocities by putting on cheek piece.
Okay. That's fine. That's removable. You didn't drill it and put like one of them plastic Kydex like up and down ones.
I've considered it. That's gonna be done on my Gopher gun, because it's just a Savage 93 R17, and it's got the wood stock, and that gun is stupid. Like I don't know if you've never shot 17 HMR, you will shoot a 17 HMR and immediately want to go buy a 17 HMR because it's just like it's just fantastic.
Ammo's so expensive though.
Whatever. It's like 223 light.
Costs as much as like 9 mil.
Yeah, whatever. And then the last thing that I do is it was my Aztec Armory order. I ordered this in. This is a M1 Garand / M14 recoil pad, and it's an extra maybe an inch of rubber, not quite, maybe 3/4 inches of rubber, and it's just so nice. Look at this. Look at all the grippiness, Adrian. Look at this. Look at all the grippiness. Oh yeah.
That looks like the Mosin one.
Yeah.
But how are you supposed to stick a Snickers in the back of your stock now?
I can't. I really can't.
It's worthless then. Why do you even have that?
It's literally garbage. But now with this thing, I am able to get a nicer length of pull. See, it's the test of, grab onto the gun. If it gets to the nook of your elbow, it's pretty good. And watch this. Oh yeah. Oh. Look at that squished up
Good
face.
cheek weld. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, if I can, if I'm when I'm done helping out Adriel this summer, assuming not everything that we go unused in Maple Seed is banned, maybe if we have time, I'll try one of the MQTs with this thing. Be kind of fun.
I will put the target out there, have it zeroed, and be ready to shoot an MQT. Because at the end of the day, I'm like worn down. I'll put a target out there for you. Do you want to run a rapid?
No.
Come on.
I'm so out of practice. I'm so out of
practice on your own time, and when you show up, be ready to fucking rock and roll. A rapid is 4 minutes to do all 4 stages, starting from standing. Just keep going. Just keep going.
That's a lot. That's a lot of. How many shots are in
40 rounds.
40 rounds. That's a lot of shooting on an M1 Garand. Oh my god.
I
do have enough clips to do it though.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. I did it with a 1022, mind you, but I did the whole thing in 2 minutes 16 seconds.
Yeah, but you're you, so fuck off.
Got 230.
Shut up. Quit it.
Remington golden bullets.
Shut the fuck up already.
It was with a fancy 1022 though. Pretty fucking Gucci.
Oh, speaking about fancy 1022s, I did a thing. I upgraded my C71 to another C71 receiver that has a closer anodized green color to the chassis that I already had. So I literally got the exact same receiver because Tristan discontinued the green ones and he had the last green one set aside for me. Well, he didn't set it aside for me. I'm pretty sure I picked up the last one that they had in stock. And just because I wanted it to match the chassis that I already had, because that was one of the main issues that he had with the green ones. First of all, they didn't sell as well. And second of all, they could not get the green to match from batch to batch. There was just too much variation. And it was clear, like it was visible. If you look at my original picture of my C71, you can clearly tell there are two very different shades between the receiver and the chassis. This one has nearly the same shade. So even between at the very end when he was sick and tired of it, he could still not get it, or rather the anodizer could still not get the shades to match. What else did I do with guns? I shipped off the jarred J180 trigger group to Sylvester finally.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I don't know what that's gonna do. Maybe we're gonna finally get a functional gun.
If they can fix the mag release, I think you should fix the mag over insertion screws with something else. Fuck them. Do something that better on it.
I can't. You know what the stupid thing is? I don't think I can get them out. Like they have such tiny fucking hex heads. Like I try to fucking twist them, and I felt them already start to strip. I was like, ooh, no.
What if you got some epoxy and like just dabbed those things with the epoxy so that it was seating against the epoxy posts instead of the screws?
That's not a bad idea. Because yeah, like the threads on the screws chew up the mag lips a little. But like realistically speaking, unless you're repeatedly slamming the shit out of the mag in the fucking mag well, I mean, it's not gonna fuck them up.
Kind of what you're supposed to do, though. You slam the fucking mag into the mag well to make sure it's in there.
I guess. I did get an adjustable gas block. That was the other thing that I did in the order. I got a couple of adjustable gas blocks because I want to fine tune that. Like, I'm sorry, but it's an abhorrent thing to say, but the Celtic RDB really fucking spoiled me. Like the gas system on that thing, fully adjustable, like 30 or 40 positions on the gas. It's like,
40 positions. I think Keltec maybe should do a little bit less cocaine.
No, dude, this is like the old school FAL. It's like a micrometer fucking gas block.
That's excessive.
No, it's fantastic, dude.
I would like it.
Yeah, it's like, do I feel like dialing down to this exact ammo and only this exact ammo? Let's go. I don't need to fucking reload or nothing.
Oh,
just Just get it to lock back on an empty mag, then 2 more clicks for reliability, call it a day.
We have spent so much time wondering if we can. No one stopped to ask if we should. That's Kel-Tec's design philosophy.
No, Kel-Tec's design is give me another line. I need to come up with some shit. Just hit me up. Just let's go.
We're gonna make a P90, but it's gonna be a handgun.
It's just Florida man things. Oh, I started watching Donut Operator. Have you guys watched that guy?
Yep, I watch him.
Pretty good channel.
You can tell when he thinks the cops fucked up because he says the words, "I'm going to be neutral and unbiased." That means that in his opinion, the cops fucked up because he was a cop, and so he is a bit of a cop apologist.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I keep getting a vibe from him. Is like the guy is like, yeah, like blue, let's go blue, and it's like,
yeah, he was a cop for a couple years. He was also in the Navy, and or I think the Marines, because he was in SEAL school for a bit until he dropped out of SEAL school.
Can't blame him.
But yeah, he was a cop for a couple years, and so he is by and large pro cop. He tries to cover some things where the cops have fucked up as well, to just be like, hey, look, I'm totally not completely biased.
Oh, he did a video of a Calgary shooter, a Calgary shooting.
Yeah, he did. His most recent one was where cops went to the wrong dude's house and shot the man because he came out thinking they were intruders with a gun in his hand, and so they shot him. And he starts off that video saying, I'm going to present this in a fair and unbiased manner. And generally when he says that, it's because he knows the cops fucked up, but he doesn't really want to say the cops fucked up.
Well, no, he straight up says this, like they went to the wrong house. Like this is straight up, literally. Like he literally goes, okay, we're looking for 550807 and we're at 5508.
Yeah, and they went to 5505. Yeah.
Yep.
But the thing with it is he will very seldom actually just straight up say the cops fucked up on this one. Very seldom. He's oftentimes usually, the cops did great on here, and here's why they did great. So his kind of code for the cops fucked up is, I'm going to present this one in a fair and unbiased manner. Yeah. That generally means he kind of thinks the cops fucked up a bit.
Yeah, it's an interesting channel. I'll give him that. It's an interesting channel. I enjoy the content that he presents and the format that he does it.
I enjoy how much he hates California.
Oh, it's great. And I am a fan of whenever he does a Las Vegas shooting, because it's like the Las Vegas Police Department just shooting people all the time.
Las Vegas Police Department just cannot stop shooting people.
Because a couple of years back, he had a string where, like, apparently the Las Vegas Police Department shot like 3 people a week for like 2 months. It's just like, wow, that's a lot of shootings.
Where he tracks the shootings, or like there's a site that tracks the shootings in Chicago. And so every time he does a shooting in Chicago, he's like, remember, it's always the cops murdering shitloads more people in Chicago, right? Let's check this website to see how many shootings there have been in Chicago. Oh, look, there's been 400 shootings this year. And how many have involved police? 27.
I think Chicago was also the one that he did a couple of, not that long ago. It was on Reddit. Just an off-duty lady comes out because a dude's shouting, and then he tries to fight her, and she's like, "I'm gonna shoot you dead right now.
I'm gonna shoot you dead right now." And then she shoots. He goes, "You shot me." It's like, what? She literally said, "I'm gonna shoot you."
Yeah. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention about this recoil pad. There was a bit of rubber near the top here that looks like fit into a cutout at the back of the stock that is not in this stock. So the recoil pad was basically sitting like this when I installed it first. So I had to go with an X-Acto knife and trim some of the rubber in the back so that it would sit flush.
Could be for M14. You said it was for both M14s and M1 Garand.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's like something for an M14. So I had to trim that down. But yeah,
back to YouTubers. There's more important news than you guys are talking about.
What?
Steve Emery didn't die from the Chinese MRE.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was.
It's been a year.
I have not watched any of his stuff, but that's been hyped enough that it's been coming up in my recommended.
Dude, it's wild.
He hasn't
wild. Like he just drops
like
a twofer, like a 40-minute long video.
Has it actually been a straight up year?
Yeah.
Wow.
The PLA one that he got sick from was a year ago.
And he's eating shit from like the 1890s.
That brand new PLA one did him in.
Oh man.
Also, casually explained is not dead. Completely unrelated, but that was great. He's a good guy. He's in Victoria. He's from Victoria because he makes memes, and some of the pictures that he makes is like, oh, that's totally Victoria. It's fun. Anyways, do we have anything else to talk about other than
I don't
completely
remember
sidetracked
if I talked about the fact that I shot an IDPA match.
What?
So I finally got a chance to do some actual more shooting. The problem is IDPA requires you to requal every year, and it had been like 4 years since I last shot a qualification. So I was actually concerned that I would go down a level. Not that marksman is much in IDPA; it's literally the second level. So
what level are you at right now? Grand Wizard?
Marksman. Okay. So I was like, I don't want to go down to novice. I hope I can get up to sharpshooter, but I don't want to go down below marksman. Thankfully, I didn't. They made me reshoot. I stayed marksman. I think I probably did worse than I did last time, which is a bit of a problem given that it's been 4 years. I've been shooting for those 4 years, and apparently I just haven't gotten any better. I was also needlessly nervous because it's the first time I've shot an actual ranked match in like 4 years. It was fun. It was all indoors. They had one stage that was actually like offhand. So I do not practice offhand like anywhere near enough. But it was like draw, transfer your offhand, and shoot 3 shots into 4 targets. And I was like, oh, I have not practiced this in like ever. There was actually one stage where I was like I was number 1 in my division and in my class for that stage because I shot standard service pistol, which is basically just, as you can probably imagine, a service pistol with iron sights, SSP. So I was number 1 in SSP marksman on this one particular stage, which was nice. And then I was like 14th out of like 20 something on another one, which was not as nice.
Nice.
But it was good to get out, and I had a lot of fun. And there's apparently a major IDPA match coming up in June that I just signed up for like yesterday. So I get to go. I'm going to go shoot that. It's big enough that it has prizes.
Nice.
There's Range Use Sports has a $100 gift card up for grabs. There's apparently a free entry into the IDPA provincials as well as I think it's just a raffle draw. That
come on,
like
go provincial then national. Oh.
I don't even know if they bother organizing a nationals for IDPA or where it happens, but
somewhere where you can go fishing as well because everyone's got their fishing vest on.
But yeah, the provincials. I mean, if I win a free entry to the provincials, I might go, but I don't think I'll go to the provincials if I don't. Like the free entry is just in a raffle. It's not a competitive.
Adriel out there making boomer jokes is a perfect way
no,
to wrap this up.
They have to have a
concealment.
They have to draw from concealment. So everyone wears a fishing vest because it's light, and then they can sweep it past and grab their gun out.
The thing with IDPA is its idea is around like guns you would carry and how you would carry them. So you're required to have a concealment garment, which some people will use a really long t-shirt, which is inefficient. The meta for IDPA is a Glock 34 and a fishing vest because it has the longest sight radius you can get and still be in standard service pistol. It's striker fired, so this trigger pull is consistent every time, and the fishing vest is long enough to go and.
Can you run a magwell on your Glock 34?
I don't think so.
Can you put glitter on it?
Aesthetically, I think you can do whatever you want to it aesthetically, but
Adriel, you should just show up to an IDPA match and shit on everyone.
There is a PCC division in IDPA. You can do whatever the fuck you want with your PCC in PCC division. There was someone showed up to a match, a night match I was shooting. Night match. It was indoors. They turned the lights out. They had a laser on their PCC. You can do whatever you want to your PCC. So mine's got a fucking 3 times magnifier on it. So.
Oh, there's actually speaking of magnifiers, there's actually a mount for a primary arm.
Check your plug, Crover. Your plug on your. That's him, right?
What?
It was all crackly. His audio. Is it just me?
I think so.
Crazy?
Plug?
Crazy? Are you hearing him as like crackly?
No, I'm not.
Oh, it's me then.
You're just on crack.
So it's
Yeah, the what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's a primary arms micro ACOG footprint mount for the back of an M1 Grand. It's wild. Let me see if I can find it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's really interesting, and I'm like,
actually I know how I feel about that. Bubba fuck off.
Oh, there it is. Copy and somebody fucking present it. Paste. There it is. Present it.
Give me a hot minute.
Yeah. I think it's this fucking coolest thing ever, man. I think it's just amazing to just have like a itty bitty little ACOG. I'm telling you, man, the future is now, old man.
The M14 is one thing, but on the M1 Garand, that is blasphemy.
I bought this gun specifically as a parts gun that was built from parts because I don't want to fuck.
Yes, but you bought it in 30-06 and not 308. If you're buying it to Bubba fuck it, you buy it in 308.
No, because it still wanted to be so fun, and this is so
just
fun.
left.
No, he just checked the chat. He said he was gonna be right back.
Okay,
but this thing is just too much fun, man. Like there is just no reason. Have you you shot this before? Have one of these before? Have you?
I've shot one literally once.
Like it
did not go well, actually.
the ping, man. The ping is it's arousing. It really is. I think we should wrap it up with that. The ping is arousing.
The ping is very arousing. And
we might be back.
The liberals.
We might be back this summer, just to completely and utterly gripe continuously because they said or did something.
Because they're going to ban your M1 Garand. They're going to ban the SKS. They're going to ban every gun that you can think of and ask the question, are they going to ban it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they will. Doesn't matter what it is. Yes, they will. They're going to.
People ask me in class, well, what's happening? What are they going to ban? I go, do you remember? They just want to ban everything. It's like, just work off of that and realize that that's what they want to do.
Don't let your choices of gun that you purchase be inhibited by thoughts of whether the government's going to prohibit it. Every gun you own, the liberals want to prohibit it. They just want to do it in different stages. So don't let the fear of it being banned inhibit you, because it's going to be banned eventually. Which is why you don't vote liberal.
And don't let your memes be dreams.
Don't let your memes be dreams. Don't let your dreams be memes. Don't meme in your dreams.
Can I get a bonus at Maple Seed if I stab the target with a bayonet?
No.
Kill it, Adriel.
But what about if he throws it like a javelin?